Yo guys, what's up? If you like gameplay stuff, you like gameplay optimization, or just like talking about skill theory, that's another thing we could call it. Learning theory. That's really what gameplay optimization is. Gameplay development, gameplay theory. Natural gameplay is like the pinnacle of gameplay theory. We'll call it skill theory. How about that? That sounds cooler. Plus, I think gameplay theory, everybody thinks of game theory, and no, I don't care about the game theory like subsection of mathematics or video game meme stuff on YouTube. So yeah, skill theory, that's what we'll call it. But anyway, I wanted to talk about some stuff that was happening. Like some of my last few videos I ever talked about this stuff, I ran into some hiccups because I wasn't able to do more thinking based problems well with my strategies. Like the speedrun strategies for my homework assignments was really efficient for. I'm balding faster than ever now. It's like, shit, I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, the for my speedrun strategies for my schoolwork, my homework, anything that's like more thinking based, and this is in the alignment of like upper level math courses where you're trying to prove arguments instead of just do computations. Yeah, I was running into some hiccups. Frankly, I couldn't do them at all. And every time I would speedrun computational stuff or like speedrun a proof, I'd go into a test. You get a different proof. I didn't know how to answer it, and I would just kind of use the proofs that I would speedrun, which I knew really well because I didn't have anything else, and it never worked for me. I basically I've not been doing good. But I changed course direction entirely like 2 weeks ago. So this video, and then I'm gonna try to make 4 or 5 more videos because I get a midterm back Friday. It's Wednesday right now. I get one back Friday, and that midterm I changed my study behaviors and study strategies to right before that midterm, like the most on that midterm. I had one other quiz before that and one other midterm before that, but I was kind of in the developing stages, so they weren't really reflective of anything. They actually were positive. I was happy about them, but I don't think they were really reflective of much because I'm still kind of developing things. But right now I'm a little bit stronger on it. So I have 3 finals on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I get a test back on Friday. So based on my test results on Friday, change things. Then the midterms Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I want to make a video and probably each one individually, just a 10-minute video, talking about my experiences. Yeah, I have the biggest change in my study habits. I stopped taking notes in classes. I just gave up on it. I find when I take notes in class, I am not thinking about the material, and this is where I'm coming from. I realize like there's a lot of value. So like solving proofs, which is mostly upper level math. Like when you do calculus, you don't solve proofs, and I think you start to think, like, because the first all of high school and all calculus, you start to think that math is just computations. And if you speedrun computations, you get really good at it. Like I got really, really good and efficient at it. But the more upper level math, like you stop doing computations, and like in spring term, the speedrun strategies worked really well, I think, because it was all computations, so it worked really well. But yeah, it kind of fell apart recently. So yeah, I just stopped taking notes in class, and it's just about like improving understanding, because that's what in speedrunning, that's what natural gameplay. The argument is like we had the flow of gameplay where you started with understanding, and then understanding develops behaviors. Your behaviors go through this gameplay engine, and that creates results, right? Problem is you don't control results. They're the only thing that matters, and you don't control them. The only thing you control is understanding, right? Gameplay is random, but you control your understanding. It changes behaviors, which does, in fact, give you different results. That's what you want, but you don't control the results, so it's confusing. And it's difficult. How do you fix that? Because everybody wants the results, and so they try to force the result, which is called ego. So they try to force the result, and then inevitably by forcing the result, they do change their behaviors, and they get different results, and they think they can change the result, but you can't change the result. It's just that they're changing their understanding. Well, they're changing their behaviors, right? So I'm saying fix A better way to change your behaviors, or the real way to change behaviors, is change your understanding. That'll change your behaviors, right? And if you change your understanding in accordance with the gameplay engine, guess what? You get really good at stuff. And that's where we're coming with the math now, is like, I need to get better at math, all right? So I need a better value system. My value system for math is trash. So what's the importance in, where's the value come from in math? And it's like the theorems and definitions are huge. But not only the theorems and definitions, you can't just know them. You have to understand how they relate to each other, why they exist, what they're used for. And then the other thing is that I'm just learning today. So for writing proofs, and the reason I'm making this video, actually, I just wrote a proof for a problem organically with no help. I did not Google at all. Usually I'm Googling these problems. Zero Googling. No Googling at all. No help from anybody. Did it totally organically. I certainly got the answer. I did it totally organically. So I actually did this a bunch last night too on a homework assignment. That's rare for me. It's very rare. In fact, it's almost never. But I did a bunch last night too. So yeah, because I realized in proofs, like, where's value in proofs, right? The hypothesis and the conclusion, writing them down, understanding them, and then being able to rewrite them. So now, when I go through a math class that's based on proofs and not so much based on, doing like simple computations, when I go into a math class, it's like, what are we looking for? We're looking for theorems. We're looking for definitions. We're looking for translating like one thing into another thing, right? Because that's what a proof is. Where to start with the hypothesis, So if you're given, like, in the class I'm taking right now, there's like, integrability is something's like an integral. So if something's integrable, what does that mean? It means that the upper partition and the lower partition are less than an epsilon. What does that mean? Okay, well, that means that, yada, yada, yada. And it's convenient because if you start to identify where problems start from these proofs, it creates value. And this is the reason I stopped taking notes, is because I need to be paying more attention I need to be looking for value. I need to be looking for value in the book, in the definitions, in the theorems, and in class. And when I'm in class and I'm taking notes, I'm not listening. And I ended up I just don't understand the material. Like, it doesn't affect my computational skills, because I think I can fix that through the speedrunning. Like, my computational stuff in all of my classes has been perfect. I have made no computational errors in any of my classes, even since spring term. It's been really, it's just the proof stuff. I'm failing the proof stuff so badly. It's like I'm getting like average grades, and it's frustrating. I'm getting average to good grades, but it's frustrating. I shouldn't be getting that. So I'm trying to address the proof issue, right? And I think you can't actually speed run to get better at this stuff, but it has to be more clever. I think it has to be more clever, or at least we'll find out. I mean, it's going to take a few months, but we'll find out. Because I think it's good. I think there's a way to do it. But so when I don't take notes in class, I notice that it's a lot easier for me to understand it. Listen to the teacher. I'm not looking at my notes. I'm looking at the teacher, right? And I'm looking at the board. And I've noticed that I'm looking at the board, I think, like 5 times as much than if I were looking down at the paper. It's considerable. And I say that because, like, usually when I'm not taking notes, I'm able to read the thing he writes as he's writing it and listen to him as he's writing it. And then when he explains it, I reread it 2 or 3 times. And then when he writes the next thing that's related to the first thing, I read the second one, and then I go and reread the first one. And then I reread the second one as he explains the whole thing. And things click a lot better in my brain. I have a pretty good memory too, not to like boast, but I have a pretty good memory. So like, I don't feel like I'm forgetting anything. I remember things a lot better when I don't take notes, because I think the notes are just distracting. Other issues is, like, some teachers kind of don't care about note taking. Like, they're more interested in, like, they write sloppy notes, right? And some teachers are just like really disorganized, and they write sloppy notes, and they make mistakes. You don't have to deal with that at all. Also, what I'm going to start doing for classes that don't have, For classes that don't have books, I'm just going to start taking pictures of the notes, because relying on my notes, if there's no book, relying on my notes, if like the teacher makes a mistake on grading, or if I copy something down and then turn it in and then he says it's wrong, it's like, well, I copied that from you, right? Like if it's a definition, if I use in his notes, I mean, there's no way for him to wiggle out of that. If I'm using my notes, you know, maybe I made a mistake. So that's something that it's like, I think it's, if you want a copy of the notes, just take a picture. I mean, I'm on my phone right now, right? What's the big deal? But it's like way quicker. Plus, that way I'm actually paying attention to the teacher. I mean, I think that's more important. And it's like, why is it more important to pay attention to the teacher besides actually learning and understanding the material? Yeah, because it's like I can start to look for value. When I'm writing things down, it's like I'm playing catch up. I'm playing catch up with the teacher. You know, sometimes they're like writing and you can't see behind their back. And it's like, now you're getting really behind. I gotta like play catch up with that. And then he's like, start talking about something else that's sort of unrelated. And, you know, you're still trying to write the first thing down. Or like, yeah, what if they start erasing it and you haven't written it down yet and you start panicking? It's just get rid of this shit. I just dumped all this. I'm like, this is a waste of time. So yeah, I just done the notes. Plus, guess what? It's a lot easier to not take notes. So my classes are actually more fun. They're way easier. It's less stressful. So yeah, I am like way happier with that. But yeah, it's I'm trying to create value, like look for value, create value, change my approach to reading math textbooks and studying for math tests and all that. And we'll see how it happens. So far, I'm optimistic. My homework's going a lot better. I mean, it's going a lot better. I've done like 6 or 7 problems organically, which is rare. It's rare for me to do a problem like totally organically just from my brain and the note and the paper. Usually I am looking online for help, asking somebody else for help. Sometimes you have to just find the answer. No, it's like these problems. It's like, okay, just write it out, figure it out. Oh, that's it. That's the answer. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like skill theory. If you don't, I mean, just subscribe anyway. But this is gonna be a vlogging channel, just kind of for fun vlogging channel. I'm outside all the time, and frankly, taking like studying for 8 hours straight, it's kind of tough. I like to take 10-minute breaks every few hours, and I figured I might as well make a video. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you on hopefully Friday. We can go over my midterm a little bit, and I'll talk more about how I changed my study habits